Are you looking to play your free hit ahead of game week 25? Then here is the best team you can build. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game. Where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top. Guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Roo and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, like I said, we're going to be building the best free hit draft that you can potentially build with a decent amount of budget. We'll be going through the players one by one, looking at other options as well. So it's not just what you're seeing on the screen now, it's looking at the other options. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe and hit the notification bell too, as I do release 2 to 3, well nowadays it's like 3 to 4 videos every single week. Sometimes do a live stream as well, so make sure you're stay up to date with the latest tips and tricks for all your FPL needs, and smash a like on this video too. We'll start off in goal. Obviously you're playing this free hit in a double game week. It is double game week 25. Brentford, Luton, Man City and Liverpool will be doubling. So for me, I think it's just a perfect chance to really load up on their players and go for, I guess, the upside with the double. Whereas maybe sometimes some teams may have better fixtures, but these teams are going to have 2 fixtures, so you got double the chance. So that's why I've gone for Flecken in goal. He's 4.5 million, 2.6% owned, and obviously the double is really, really bad with Liverpool at home, Man City away. However, he's shown it in his last few game weeks that he don't really need to keep a clean sheet to get points. He got 10 against Manchester City. Obviously, that was because of an assist, but even without that, he actually got 2 bonus points and he made 12 save, which is an extra 4 points. So yeah, really, really well there. And even in his game against Wolves in game week 24, he got 7 points. So he made 5 saves and a bonus point. So again, a save point and a bonus point. So I think Flecken is a really nice option, kind of the perfect balance between maybe getting a double game week defender or goalkeeper, for example, Kaminsky, Alisson, Ederson. But with Ederson and Ederson, obviously Alisson didn't play in game week 24, so that's always a risk as well. But with them two, I don't think you're going to rack up the save points. With Kaminsky and with Flecken, you potentially can. However, I didn't really want to go for double Luton defence / goalkeeper, so that's why I have gone for Flecken. Areola as well there on the bench with a good fixture against Forest away, so he can always come in if anything does happen to Flecken and doesn't play. Speaking of Luton defenders, in defence I've gone for Doughty, so 4.6 million. So like I said, it was a bit of a tough one because obviously I could have gone for like a Regulon from Brentford or another player around that price point, but I think Doughty was the best out of Brentford and Luton kind of going forward, so that's why I've gone from him. This season he's done pretty well attacking wise, 7 assists, 1 goal. Disappointed not to get a return last time out against Sheffield United at home, but like I said, this is a free hit, so it doesn't really matter about that. You got 2 fixtures, United at home, Liverpool away. Can Doughty get a return? I'm hopeful so. Plus adding 2 appearance points, and hopefully he doesn't concede too many, then I think he's got a big chance of getting a double-digit haul over the next, a double game week. Next to him, I've gone for Virgil. So there were a few options in there to go for. So obviously I could have gone for City defenders, Walker, maybe an Ake, etc. But I have gone for Virgil. There were obviously Trent is the best option, but there was a bit of a knock with Trent, so I'm not too sure if he will be fit enough to play both games or even any other games, to be honest with you. I haven't really heard how serious the injury is because he did come off very early in the game. But Van Dijk, 6.4 million, 15.8% owned. He scored a goal and 2 assists this season, so not great, but we know Van Dijk can get a few goals. Kind of over the last 2 seasons, he's got 3 goals a season. One season he got 5 and another season he got 4, so around 3-4. So he's due another goal or so soon. So for me, I think over 2 game weeks, you're just hopeful Van Dijk can pop out with a bullet header in one of them and Liverpool keep a couple clean sheets. Gabriel I've gone for, so the only I guess single game week defender in the team currently. So the reason I've gone for that is Burnley away I think is a very good fixture for Arsenal. I think Arsenal's defence has been maybe a little bit underrated this season. And Gabriel at 5 million, 19.1% owned, still not overly owned. And for me, I think that Burnley fixture has got clean sheet written on over it, and hopefully he can time one of his bullet headers with this double game week. 2 goals this season, 1 assist. And yeah, for me, I think it's nice to have that sort of balance of having that single game week player with a really, really good fixture in there to kind of balance the double game week options that maybe are not as solid. So, for example, Doughty, I'm not expecting clean sheets from him. Virgil, I am, and then Gabriel, I am. So it kind of gives that a bit of a balance. Obviously, I could have gone for someone like Reguilon, Brentford defender, but I just felt like Doughty. It was really Doughty over Reguilon and Kaminsky over Flecken. So I kind of weighed them two up because I really didn't want to double up on I guess Brentford and Luton defence. So for that reason, I did go for Flecken because I did think he was better in terms of save points, and I think Brentford have a slight better chance of keeping clean sheets than Luton. So yeah, and Doughty I think was a bigger attacking threat than someone like Reguilon. But on the bench for the defence, I got Van Heck and Bell. Really just the cheapest playing defenders. Van Heck's got a decent fixture as well with Sheffield United away. So if he does get called upon, but to be honest, I can't really see it. I think Doughty and Virgil will play at least one game, and Gabriel should play that game. So yeah, defensive options don't really, I guess, need them. Moving on to the midfield. So the whole reason of not having any City and not having any Liverpool, well, I've got one Liverpool defender, but not going double on that, was because I really did want to attack their attacking players. I think by playing the free hit this game week, you have the chance to be really, really aggressive and go for, I guess, combination of players. It sound like Drake there, combination of players that you won't really get on a normal team. So, for example, a lot of teams can't afford De Bruyne and have Haaland, etc. But with this team, you really can, because you can make the most of the bench slots. They don't need to play. You can go for some of the cheapest options. So that's why I have decided to go for a really, really strong midfield. We'll start off with De Bruyne. 10.8 million now, 31.4% owned. So I guess the really nice thing about playing the free hit this game week is he was benched in game week 24. So I guess he's more likely to play twice in game week 25. I'm still not convinced, but we've seen him come on both times he's been benched since he's come back from injury. The first game he was benched and he got a goal and assist. Burnley and Brentford at home and away in game week 22-23. He got assists and then he got an assist as well last time out. So I think De Bruyne is a nice option to have, and he can come on and get a goal, get an assist. Even in the FA Cup against Spurs, I think he come on and change the game. To be honest, they just look so much better with De Bruyne in the team. So yeah, I think De Bruyne is a player that is very interesting to have, especially with 31% owned. But I'm not sure a lot of that is active players. I think that's from the start of the season. To be honest, most of them ownership. Phil Foden, I still think he's one of the best Man City options. Obviously, didn't score or assist in game week 24 against Everton, but he did get that hat trick in game week 23. Only 30% owned and 8 million. I think he is a bit of a no brainer for this free hit draft. He started 21 games this season, so almost all of City's games. I think he was maybe rested in a few of them, maybe had an injury in some of them. But yeah, Phil Foden, I think, is definitely in this team. And even if you don't have the free hit to play, I think Phil Foden can be a really, really nice option to bring in this game week. Obviously, there are other options to go for, maybe a Bernardo Silva, maybe a Doku. I just don't really trust them to start both games. I think Phil Foden now is one of City's key players. Yes, there's always a chance with Pep Guardiola that he does get rested or he does get benched, etc. But for me, I think Foden starts at least minimum one of them games, and I think he comes on 30 if he doesn't start a second game. But I can definitely see him starting both games, just how versatile he is on the right, through the middle, on the left. I think he can play anywhere in that midfield / wingers position. So yeah, I think Phil Foden is a must-have in this team. Diego Jota, I think, is another must-have. Only 18.8% owned, so still quite a differential. 8.2 million. Got a goal last time out against Burnley, and I think the fixtures for Liverpool are really, really good. Brentford away, Luton at home. Potential captain option, but yeah, for me that goes to Haaland. But yeah, potentially if you wanted to go for someone different, then I don't hate the the option to go for Diogo Jota. There is maybe talks that Salah could be back for game week 25. FPL have him listed at coming back for that game week, but for me, even if he is back, I can't see him starting both games. I can't see him starting even one game, to be honest. I think maybe he'll come on against Luton, maybe get a few minutes in before the Carabao Cup final, potentially, where he could start or even come off the bench. So for me, I think Diogo Jota's space in the Liverpool team is guaranteed, and I think he's a very good asset for this game week. There's also, I guess, an argument to be made that someone like Diaz, who's actually been doing pretty well recently, he got a goal in the game against Burnley. He got an assist against Arsenal in game week 23, a goal and an assist against Chelsea in 22. But other than that, I don't think he's been doing it as consistent. 18 starts, 5 goals, 4 assists, which is not bad, but for me, it's a 2-game week punt. I need him to be very explosive, and I'm not too sure Diaz is that player. His first double-digit haul was against Chelsea, where he did get the goal and an assist. So, yeah, for me, I don't think Diaz is an option, and Gakpo, I don't think he's getting enough minutes at the moment to even think about him. He only got 8 minutes against Burnley. He did start against Arsenal, but yeah, for me, 10 starts this season, 3 goals, 2 assists. I think Jota is the best option. Next up, a single game week player, Saka. So he's now 9 million, 58.9% owned, very highly owned. You could argue that this is a bit of a defensive move, as I know a lot of people obviously do have Saka in their team. But for me, I think Burnley at home could be a really nice, Burnley away, could be a really nice fixture for Saka. I think he's gone under the radar this season with just how well he is doing. This is being recorded before the West Ham game, Arsenal's West Ham game, and he's got 3 goals in 4 games. And yeah, for me, 8 goals, 8 assists this season, 22 starts is very, very good. And I think he's going a bit under the radar, I'd say. And he could definitely finish above his kind of best season, which was 14 goals, 12 assists. He only needs 4 more assists and 6 more goals, which I think he can definitely do. And I think this Burnley away fixture is a very nice fixture for him. Obviously, if you don't have, I guess, the money to have Saka in your team alongside all these great players, I do, and my team I use not great. But for me, if you don't have that, maybe someone like Martinelli, if you do think he's going to start, could be a nice punt. But I do think Saka is the best option for Arsenal, as he should be on penalties. If he doesn't give them away, obviously, but he should be on penalties, and I think he is their biggest attacking threat. On the bench, we actually have a decent first bench option, Garnacho. So 4.9 million now, still only 7.3% owned. Very, very cheap. I think he's got his starting place now, and he's got obviously Luton away in game week 25. Obviously, Luton have a double, but Man United, it's only a single game week. I think for Garnacho, probably if it was more money, I'd probably start him. But again, I still don't really trust Man United. So yeah, for that reason, he is not on the starting lineup, and he will be first bench, but he's a very good first bench. And to be honest, I don't think he'll be needed unless obviously one of the midfielders do end up getting an injury. Up front was a tough decision, to be honest. We'll go with the easy one, Haaland. He's now gone up to 14.3 million, and he's nearly 70% owned, which is ridiculous. 2 goals last time out. I'm sure all the captainers were sweating that he wasn't going to do it. I was a captain, and I was very calm. I had faith in Haaland, absolutely no doubt at all. And to be honest, I think this game week for him is going to be very, very nice. We know how good Haaland is at home. 2 home games against 2 leaky defences, Chelsea and Brentford. Obviously, Chelsea have a cup final the week after, so you could say maybe they are going to rest their players. I can't really see it, but potentially. And then Brentford midweek, I think they're shipping goals like anything. Even though I've got Fleck in the team, I'm just there for the save points, to be honest. And I think Haaland is probably going to be the best triple captain option you can go for this game week. However, obviously, if you are playing your free hit, then you can't do that. You can only play 1 chip per game week. So I would strongly consider, if you are playing your free hit, to maybe rethink it. If your team is close to this team, then I think maybe Haaland triple captain could potentially be the better decision to go for. But again, it's all team dependent. If your team is close to this team, if you've got, let's say, if you've got Haaland, Jota, one of Foden or De Bruyne, a Liverpool defender, then I think you're okay, to be honest. I don't think you need to play the free hit. However, obviously, free hit could earn more than a Haaland triple captain. Absolutely, there's no question in that. Free hit can definitely earn more than a triple captain, because you're still going to captain Haaland. Let's say he gets 20 points, and you lose out on 20 points. You can definitely make that up with the free hit, and you can definitely make that up later on in the season with another triple captain. It's just I'm not too sure where that would sit and what the fixtures would be. So for me, I would try and get as close to this team as possible. If you can't, then I think free hit is a viable option. But if you can, then triple captain Haaland, I think, is a must for this game week. Darwin up next. I guess a very frustrating player. He got got a goal last time out. No, one bonus point as well, so he ended up on 6 points. It's been a funny old season for him. I think for people that haven't owned him a lot, I think they don't mind Darwin. Like for me, I've owned him 1 week, and he done very well for me. Last season, it was actually before the World Cup, and I haven't owned him since. And yeah, he's 15 games this season, 8 goals, 9 assists, which is very, very good. 17 returns and 15 starts is you can't really ask for much more. And I think he could be a very nice option for this double game week. And to be honest, especially if Salah's not back, I think he has the opportunity to start both games, albeit they've got the cup final after the midweek game. So straight up, they've got the cup final after the Luton game, and the Luton game is on a Wednesday as well. So it does give them maybe a bit of less time to recover. And obviously Chelsea don't have a double game week, so they won't actually have that midweek fixture. But I do think Darwin can be a potential captain option, but I'd probably go for Jota if I wasn't going for Haaland. Darwin, like I said, 7.6 million, 17% owned. It's a hit and miss with him, and I think you have to go for him if you are free hitting. Even if you're not free hitting, I do think he's a very, very good option for this game week. But just remember, obviously, he blanks in game week 26, so that's why I said for a free hit, it's probably you have to have Darwin in your team, because you don't have to stress about them blanking the week after. Ivan Toney is kind of the ultimate playing your free hit player, because 8.2 million, 7.3% owned, terrible fixtures before the double, terrible fixtures after the double, terrible double, Liverpool at home, City away. But Ivan Toney's doubling. Since he's come back from his ban, he has hit the ground running. 3 goals, 1 assist in 4 games, and they've played Forest, Spurs, City, Wolves away. So it's not been the easiest games, but for me, I think he could score against anyone. And for me, Liverpool, albeit a tough team, it is at home, and City's again away from home. Brentford did well there last season. Can he do well again? I think it's worth the risk with Ivan Toney. He's doubling. He's on penalties. You never know what can happen. 1 penalty in 1 game, and then you've got 4 playing points. You've got a penalty, which is 4 points. That's 8 points plus any bonus. You could potentially get double digits, no problem, just through 1 penalty. So for me, I think Ivan Toney should go in your team if you are playing your free hit this week. Overall, though, it is a tough one, because although I said if you can get close to this team, it's probably not worth playing your free hit. You're better off playing your triple captain. However, if you're going to have to stress about making transfers next game week, etc., etc. So really, the ideal scenario is, I think, if you've got enough players, say you've got a fully fit squad, and no one else is blanking next game week, and then you can go and have 2 free Liverpool options, maybe absolute maximum 1 Luton option. Maybe I would say 2 Liverpool and then 3 or 1 Luton option, depending what you want to go for. Then I'd say that's fine. If you want to go for 3 Liverpool, 2 Luton, then I think that's too much. I think you're better off playing a free hit. So it all depends on how, I guess, heavy you want to go in the double game week. You can probably get away with 3 Liverpool, and I think that's probably all you probably need to go for is 3 Liverpool. If you can get to that 3 Liverpool, Jota, Darwin, and maybe a defender, whether that's Trent if he's fit, Virgil, etc., etc., then fair enough. And then you don't have any Spurs, remember, because Spurs are blanking, Chelsea are blanking. So again, it's not just the teams that are doubling you need to worry about, it's the other teams. So it's Luton, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool are blanking. So if your bench doesn't have any Spurs or Chelsea or Luton or Liverpool, then I think fair enough, go for it. But if they do have that, then it could be worth playing the free hit. But it's all the team dependent. Sorry to give a boring answer, but it literally is. That was it for this video. Please make sure you do smash a like. I'm trying to hit 100 likes for this video. And if you are new to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe. It's completely free. It really, really does help me out. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the season. We're on about 12 and a half, 1,200, 550, something like that. Yeah, if we can get to 2,000 for the end of the season, I'll be over the moon. And yeah, good luck for the game week if you are playing your free hit. If you're not, then try and get as close to this team as possible. Maybe leave out the Luton option. But yeah, good luck for the game week.